Hello everyone and welcome to NFL Discussion. I'm your host NFL DJ Stucky Doug. In today's episode I'm going to be discussing takeaways from the Week 17 slate of action. So just to kind of summarize the Week 17 slate, we saw teams get eliminated, certain teams clinch their playoff spots, other teams still keeping themselves alive in the playoff hunt, and with that, we'll go ahead and get right into the action, starting with one of those teams that still kept the playoff chances alive, and that team is the Packers. And they will face a tough challenge and a division rival for a playoff spot next week. So the Packers still need a win next week to clinch a postseason berth, but they performed at a playoff level with their victory over the Vikings this past Sunday. Among NFC teams still in the hunt for the final wildcard spot, the Packers control their future. They must beat the Lions to extend their campaign. They have the advantage over Seattle because of a better conference record. If Green Bay loses, Seattle will then claim that playoff spot if they win. If both teams lose, both Green Bay and Seattle, then the Lions, well, obviously that would mean they win, and then they would get the last playoff spot. Green Bay has won 4 consecutive games, so momentum is certainly on their side, though they will face a Detroit team that has won 7 of its last 9, so they have some momentum as well. Moreover, you look at Detroit's performance in Week 17, they picked up a decisive win over the Bears. With that said, though, the Packers dominated a playoff team in the Vikings, and their defense has forced 8 turnovers over the last couple of weeks. Aaron Rodgers hasn't had to do the heavy lifting on the offense because of an effective ground attack that has racked up an average of 138.8 yards. Like Green Bay, Detroit can rack up points and force turnovers. Going into Sunday's contest, the Lions fielded the 5th ranked scoring offense. They registered a takeaway in all but 2 games this season. The Lions have, though Detroit needs some help to sneak into the postseason, they are good enough to keep Green Bay out of it, so it's not exactly an easy win. I don't believe in easy wins, but Green Bay certainly did themselves a favor by getting a win over the Vikings. Buccaneers. Tom Brady turns back the clock in a vintage performance in time for playoff action. So this season, the Bucs offense has looked out of sorts, to say the least. Going into Week 17, listed 27th in scoring, which was down from its top 3 ranked the previous 3 years. Heading into Sunday's contest with the Panthers, Brady had thrown for 21 touchdowns against 9 interceptions. And in this game, Brady decided to have his best game of the season, with the NFC South title at stake. Nonetheless, he threw for a season-high 432 yards and 3 touchdowns. Brady and Mike Evans, they haven't looked in sync in over the past 2 months. Before Week 17, Evans had eclipsed 59 receiving yards in a game once since Week 8. Against the Panthers, he registered season highs and catches, which were 10, receiving yards 207, and touchdowns 3. And also congrats to Mike Williams, 9 straight 1,000-yard seasons. I don't know if anybody else has ever done that, but if they haven't, then Mike Evans is simply 1-1. But it's also a reminder too that Mike Evans is a great wide receiver, and his greatness should be recognized. And based on what the Buccaneers did in 2020 and 2021, I think it's fair to say the expectation was that they would perform at a high level, which they haven't. But the offense has executed well late in games to complete comebacks. On Sunday, Tampa Bay trailed 21-10 early in the 4th quarter before scoring 20 unanswered points, pulling off said comeback. Now, with this win, the other 2 teams, the Panthers and Saints, they are out. The Buccaneers have their division title and are in the playoffs, and the Buccaneers could be a dangerous wildcard team despite their 8-8 record. If Brady and company have indeed turned the corner, then they will certainly give whatever team faces them everything that they can handle, and maybe even some fits. But like I said, this is Brady we're talking about in the postseason. I picked the Buccaneers to win over the Panthers because I had a feeling that Tom Brady, with what was at stake, was simply going to do what Tom Brady does, and that's play at a great level when the stakes are at its highest. Giants. Daniel Jones continues to solidify his long-term future with the Giants. So Jones started his career with a solid rookie season, and he kind of underwhelmed the past couple of seasons. So he came into 2022 starting off as a low-end starter, but Giants head coach Brian Daboll and offensive play caller Mike Kafka, however, have reinvented him, as Jones is now more of a playmaker who can beat defenses not only with his precision passing, but with his legs. Going into Week 17, he had a career highs of a 66.5% completion percentage, 617 rushing yards, and 5 rushing touchdowns. In a win over the Colts, Jones would have his first 4-touchdown game of the season, throwing for 2 and rushing for a couple. As a result of the victory, Big Blue would clinch a playoff spot, which will allow Jones to showcase himself in a high-stakes setting. And he certainly has that opportunity, and if he can take advantage of that opportunity, he can further solidify his future. Do keep in mind that according to Ian Rappaport from the NFL Network, the Giants want Jones back for 2023 and beyond. He is on an expiring rookie contract, and with a quality postseason performance, even if they lose in the first round, Jones can certainly up his price tag for the Giants, which hopefully they pay him. I mean, I don't think he's going to command top dollar, but he can certainly raise his value of a solid postseason performance. Jaguars. They are primed to claim the AFC South title, and I guess NFL decided to flex a couple of games this Saturday. I don't know why they flexed Chiefs Raiders. It doesn't seem like a special game unless there's something I'm missing. But Jaguars Titans being on Saturday prime time, that one's certainly understandable. The Jaguars in Week 17 blew out the Texans, but that's not the whole story. They've won 4 in a row, and they look better than anybody else in their division. The Texans and the Colts, 2 of the 5 worst teams in the NFL. But you look at the Titans, though, they've lost 6 straight games, and they also have a quarterback problem. So the Titans placed Ryan Tannehill on injury reserve after he underwent ankle surgery, and then going into the game on Thursday night, they decided to bench Malik Willis, according to Titans reporter Paul Kowarski, and start Joshua Dobbs instead. And Tennessee's decision to experiment with Dobbs leads to question marks at the most important position before a win and end game with Jacksonville in Week 18. It seems likely Dobbs is going to start again. The Jaguars have shown that they can beat teams through the air with Trevor Lawrence, who has hit his stride over the past couple months. Even though he hasn't thrown a touchdown pass in a couple weeks, Jacksonville has been able to beat its opponents by a combined score of 50-6 because of an effective running game and stout defense. And based on the difference in momentum between Jacksonville and Tennessee, and momentum can really be a difference maker, the Jaguars seem like the clear favorites to win next week's matchup for the AFC South title. And then taking a look at the playoff field, I saw that the Jets got eliminated, and I guess I was right about the Jets. I threw in the towel on their season after week 1, and then I rescinded it. I don't quite remember when I did, but I rescinded it because the Jets had managed to get above 500 and then put themselves in a position for a playoff spot, but ultimately they came up short. And then the Commanders also got eliminated too, but then again, you chose to go back to Carson Wentz at quarterback. So I mean, not that Taylor Heinicke was that much better. I mean, really, say what you will about Taylor Heinicke, but he's not a franchise quarterback, and neither is Carson Wentz. So it's not like the Commanders, what are they supposed to do? They have 2 guys who are franchise quarterbacks. I mean, Heinicke gives you a better chance to win, sure, but that's not long-term success, and that's why Heinicke got benched again. Wouldn't be surprised if Carson Wentz gets benched now and he's back out there for the final game. Might as well. There's no point. I mean, granted, it doesn't matter, your season's over, but might as well just try it anyway. I think, the Saints and Panthers, as I talked about earlier, officially eliminated. So NFC South, the division that was probably the worst in football, that's finally settled and over. We don't have to worry about it next week. I think playoffs are just kind of rounding into form, and obviously next week we'll have everything all settled, and that'll be the end of the NFL season. And crazy to think we're already at that time. It's January. We're about to wrap up the NFL season and get right into the postseason. And with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up this episode of NFL Discussion. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to hit that like button down below.